What's up, Jumbo Gang?
Can't trust no bitch, these bitches be cheaters, these bitches be hoes. Can't love no bitch, these bitches be eaters, they fucking my bros. And I get to that dog, we swap my gang.
What's up, Jumbo Gang? This your boy SevSide back again with another video. Okay, we got Trap Friend. This is on Trap Friend's channel, but it's called the Rise of the Bronx Drill. OGs versus YGs versus SevSide. I think that's how you say it. Okay, look, I originally went to New York not too long ago, last year. And damn, this is about to be a year. But I went to New York last year. I like New York. I might end up moving out there. But anyways, we finna get into this video, man, cause I know how they is in New York with this gang shit. So let's get into it, man. It's crazy, man.
First, the search for the gunman who killed a teenager in the Bronx. Police believe the victim, 13-year-old Jerian Elliott, was not an innocent bystander and could have been targeted. The shooting happened this afternoon on East 187th Street in the Bronx. Elliott was shot several times in the chest.
Surveillance shows Jerian Elliott in red pants, shot zing through the air. Within seconds, he scrambles inside a restaurant. A crowd surrounds him. Police say he got shot in the ankle and chest.
Another weekend of deadly gun violence in New York City. 4 teenagers were shot in separate incidents. 3 of them died.
That shit is crazy. It's crazy. Because there's a lot of people in New York, though. So people got to know who doing this. It's a lot of people, ain't no way you just not going to find out who it is. They know the gangs. You know what I'm saying? Just like what happened to Bobby Smurder. I mean, he free right now, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, New York big. They know who doing it.
Around 11:30 Sunday night by the corner of East 178th Street and Webster Avenue in the Bronx, police say 2 men pulled scooters up next to a cabman.
Damn, they doing hits on scooters.
Studio. They then shot him in his head and chest, killing him.
Eye-opening gun violence here in the Bronx is at a level we have not seen in decades.
Damn. Anything mentioned in this story that hasn't proven in court of law is simply just speculations and should be treated as such. For real though, I like how you you know what I'm saying? I like how you did that. For real though, rest in peace to everybody.
Alright, so what's up everybody? We gotta talk about the Bronx drill scene that's been blowing up recently. Over the last few years, Brooklyn has had all the attention in the drill rap scene, but in 2021,
for real, they biggest year was this year in 2020, cause they coming. New York always been a scene for rap too. Atlanta, Chicago, they turned up. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, Florida, you know. So yeah, they just turned up even more. You know what I'm saying, with the little drill scene.
That title. An artist by the name of K Flock has the torch for the Bronx right now after he just inked a record deal, which is rumored to have been worth over $1 million, and he remixed his hottest song, "Being Honest," with a feature from G Herbo. Ironically, that song, "Being Honest," was actually made as a response to a challenge started by a Brooklyn rapper named Siggy Black over the beat he used for his song "Dishonest." Similar to how Brooklyn introduced the US to UK beats, the Bronx is bringing their own twist by using sampled beats with a New York UK twist to them. In fact, just over a week ago at the time of this recording,
I ain't gonna fake it, they beats is nice, but it sound like they rapping on the same beat. But they not though. That's the hard part. This tough. I like that.
Fox Rivals and his blood cousin dropped a song in Who I Smoke fashion called Talk Facts, which he samples the 2011 hit Need Your Love, in which he disses almost every dead op and every other hood in the Bronx.
Damn.
A YouTuber by the name of We Drill Crazy dropped a video in which he breaks down the lyrics and showcases each name drop, and it's named a different name in each bar. I'll link his video below so you can check it out. The Bronx has always been known for one of the wildest bros in the city. Charlemagne the God always says the craziest people come from the Bronx and all of Florida, and that for the most part is true. The Bronx is no stranger to gangs, drugs, and violence. During the Prohibition era, the Bronx was home base for several mafia members, including Dutch Schultz, who was rumored to have buried over $150 million worth of diamonds, gold, and cash somewhere in the borough before he was died in 1935, but the treasure has never been found. It was a hub for organized crime up until the late 90s, when there was a large migration of Africans and Latinos, which caused a lot of the European settlers to move elsewhere. In the 70s and 80s, East 187th Street, now known as SevSide, which is K Flock's hood, was primarily controlled by the Italian Mafia. In the 90s, when the blacks and Hispanics...
I didn't even know the Mafia was real. And the Mafia was actually real. That's crazy.
Then, it pushed a lot of the mobsters out east into Morris Park. By the early 2000s, SevSide was primarily ran by a blood set called the East Homicide Brims. After a ton of internal and external beefs over the span of a decade, 700 DOA was birthed. SevSide is now made up of mainly Mac Follow Brims, Sex Money Murda, and they're clicked up with the Rolling 80s Crips from East 180th Street, also known as Rayway. If you head 3 miles south from the Sev, you'll end up on Cortland Ave, which is OG's territory. Cortland Ave in the South Bronx is a hood made up of 3 projects: the Melrose Houses, Jackson Houses, and Morrisania Air Rights, also known as Vietnam. Cortland Ave has always been a wild hood. Since the 80s, drugs, gangs, and violence have been a prominent issue. In 2003, a new gang in the Bronx was formed called the Young Gunners. The OGs and the YGs were initially one gang in the beginning. The YG started in 2 projects, the Mott Haven Houses and the Patterson Houses. When it was created, its other main hoods were Cortland, Highbridge, River Park Towers, or RPT, which is where...
And these niggas look 16, and they don't look 16, and these niggas 16 and 17 and 18, you know what I'm saying? They don't even look like it. These niggas look like they 20, 25, and 30. That shit crazy.
Jackson Ave. Cortland was called the Young Gunners from Cortland, or YGFC. At some point, the YG's leader, Juther Juhef Perez, crossed one of the leaders from Cortland, so YGFC left the YGs and changed their name to OGFC, which they later shortened to GFC, or God's Favorite Children, or just the OGs, original goons. When they left, the YGs started to beef with a lot of other hoods. Similar to SevSide, Cortland had a lot of internal and external conflicts over the years, including a RICO sweep in 2009 called Operation Rotten Apple that led to the arrest of 53 gang members. The OGs from Cortland's biggest ops are still the YGs. As of right now, Cortland is clicked up with Highbridge and the Sugar Hill OYs.
Damn.
Some notable rappers coming from the OG side are Shaw EK, B-Love, and CJ Goon. The YGs, on the other hand, are beefing with almost every other set in the borough and are one of the most hated gangs in the whole city. These 3 sets have been at each other's necks for a long time now, but things really started to boil over in July of this year, which led to...
Motherfuckers can't even come out their hood because they beefing too much. Well, I don't see people. Well, when I was there, it was during COVID, but motherfuckers probably couldn't even ride the bus, bruh, and they beefing like that. Like, that shit real.
Teens losing their lives in the same week. On Thursday, July 7th, 2021, at around 11:35 p.m., Tyquil Doherty, also known as Ty Swish, was gunned down in front of his apartment building on East 182nd Street in the Bronx. The 19-year-old had been shot in the head in the lobby of his Bronx apartment building, where he ran outside before he collapsed. A family member said that her 2 children found Ty Swish's unconscious body sprawled out on the ground.
Wow. And the kid looking at that shit. That shit would have I seen somebody get shot, so it didn't fuck me up, but it didn't. But that shit right there, like a dead body, like.
St. Barnabas Hospital, where he unfortunately succumbed to his injuries. A witness described the shooter saying he fled in a dark-colored 4-door sedan, but no other information has been discovered.
Damn.
Ty was described as a good kid by his family and neighbors, but he was a gang member pushing Sex Money Murda, and he was unfortunately caught lacking. It would only take 4 days for his side to get their get back, though.
Police believe the victim, 13-year-old Jerian Elliott, was not an innocent bystander and could have been targeted.
Surveillance shows Jerian Elliott in red pants. Shots zing through the air. Within seconds, he scrambles inside a restaurant. A crowd surrounds him. Police say he got shot in the ankle and chest.
On Sunday, July 11th, 2021, at around 3 p.m., Jerian Elliott, also known as J-Rip, a 13-year-old member of the Rolling 80s Crips, was walking down East 187th Street with a friend. Surveillance footage would capture the 2 boys walking in front of Angel's Cafe when J-Rip's friend would take off running. A black sedan had come to a stop in front of the cafe, and a man got out and opened fire on the teens. He was seen crawling into the cafe and was brought to the hospital shortly after.
That's him right there. I'm thinking that's him.
At only 13, he had already been arrested 8 times, and investigators say he was at the scene of the crime when 19-year-old Ty Swish was killed, although it isn't believed he was the shooter. At the end of September, a 16-year-old that goes by the name Dolo G's was picked up as
and it's crazy, these niggas is stupid young. Like, what the fuck?
But there isn't much public information surrounding this because he's still a juvenile. Less than 8 hours after J-Rip was killed, another teen would meet a tragic end in a retaliation hit.
Around 11:30 Sunday night by the corner of East 178th Street and Webster Avenue in the Bronx, police say 2 men pulled scooters up next to a cab Medrano was taking to a recording studio. They then shot him in his head and chest, killing him.
16-year-old Ramon Gil Medrano, a rapper that went by the name Raw G's and had ties to the 800 YGs, got into an Uber on his way to hang out with a friend. Shortly after he was picked up, two men on a scooter pulled up alongside the car and opened fire, hitting Raw G's in the head 3 times before speeding off. The tragic video went viral on social media as the Uber driver's dash cam captured the entire incident.
Sad.
The driver can be seen flinching as the shots go off, and he seemingly utters the words, "Night, night, young man," as he looks back at the boy's lifeless body. Investigators believe that Raw G's was also at the scene of J. Rip's murder, and he was targeted because he quickly took to social media to mock J. Rip just hours before he himself lost his life.
Wow.
A year prior to his passing, Raw G's had survived a shooting that had almost taken his life. He was in the hospital in critical condition for several days, but finally pulled through. His mother said that the shooting caused him to be more cautious and walk the straight and narrow. But in the 3 months before his passing, he'd been arrested 3 times and had an active warrant for a carjacking. A 15 and 16-year-old were identified as the boys on the scooter and arrested for the murder, but again, there isn't much public information because of their age. In August of 2021, K Flock dropped a song called "Is You Ready?" In the opening verse, he says, referencing one of the greatest movies ever made, Paid in Full. This was a subliminal diss towards his cousin D-Thang, because if you remember in the movie,
What?
Ice was Sonny's uncle who had set him up to get kidnapped and killed.
Hold on,
D-Thang
let
and
me.
K-Flock had always been good for the murder, but again, there isn't much public information because of their age. In August of 2021, K-Flock dropped a song called "Is You Ready?" In the opening verse, he says, referencing one of the greatest movies made, Paid in Full. This was a subliminal diss towards his cousin D-Thang, because if you remember in the movie, Ice was Sonny's uncle who had set him up to get kidnapped and killed. D-Thang and K-Flock had always been good, even though they were from rival gangs, but the diss caused a rip that led to D-Thang taking to Instagram Live to send an eerie subliminal where he says,
"You ain't related to me. Like Ice did this, Sonny." Can't wait to see Auntie now.
The beef took the life of another teen on September 30th. 16-year-old Nasiah Sanchez, also known as Nasrolla, a Rollin' 80s Crip and one of K-Flock's affiliates, was shot and killed after 2 men jumped out of a gray Honda Accord and shot him in the head and chest in broad daylight on East 187th Street near Prospect Avenue.
Wow.
Nasrolla had been arrested 18 times, most recently on September 5th for
He got a
felony gun
kid,
possession.
bro.
All of these events are truly mind-blowing when you realize that these kids are all just teens.
They
Most of them go to the same
kids,
high school,
bro.
so you can find videos all over the internet of them fighting in school and actually going live to diss their ops in class. It makes it more disturbing that with the rise of social media, many of these killings are broadcasted on the internet for everyone to see. Some of the rappers are actually really talented and they make good music, but they literally commit crimes and then admit to them in their songs. If you ever want to get caught up on what's going on in the Bronx streets, just listen to the latest drill song and you can hear all about it. It's only a matter of time before things escalate and we see these hoods going down.
That's what it is, man. And I'ma react to more of him. I'm finna subscribe to him. His name Fiend. I think that's how you say it. But anyways, everybody like, comment, and subscribe, man. And yeah, we out of here. We're gonna keep grinding.